Okay, so listen, most people think that a post-purchase is just another flow inside their Klaviyo account, but it's not. This is where you win or lose with lifetime value. And if you don't handle remorse, confusion, and that first order anxiety, buyers will disappear. But when you get this right, you turn first-time buyers into repeat buyers and then repeat buyers into VIP customers who just buy everything you drop, everything you release at every single time. So I'm going to show you a simple system today that does all of that. So we're going to do this with the post-purchase engine. Now, this is a system that we devised here at Hayes that turns one-time buyers into VIP customers, which I know is something that all Shopify store owners want to know how to do. Now, we need a little bit of a mindset shift here, which is something that I learned, over the years, starting out writing copy for paid ads, going into becoming an email marketer where I was just creating campaigns flows, to now being a retention leader where I think of the customer journey as a whole. And I look at brands every single day that are crushing it and just basically creating that brand affinity with their customers. So the mindset shift I want to make here, a little paradigm shift, is that the post-purchase journey is not just a post-purchase flow, right? It's a complete customer journey upgrade. It changes everything. So most marketers ask, how do I build a post-purchase flow? And most marketers will say, well, you just need to do X, Y, Z inside Klaviyo and it's done. No, the real question that I like to ask, which I think is more powerful, is like, how do I holistically and systematically move buyers, right, from first time to repeat to VIP? And this fundamental shift in thinking, I believe, changes everything. And I've noticed this through the accounts we work on. So when you stop treating post-purchase as an afterthought, right, as something that, once we have them buy, we don't have to worry again. Once you start thinking about it like that and change it and start viewing it as a strategic engine for growth, you unlock this true potential, I believe. You see your Klaviyo account, your LTV grow, your cohorts grow month over month. Now, why LTV starts right after purchase? I'd argue that it doesn't just start after purchase, but we're going to be focusing on after purchase today. So first of all, buyer's remorse is a real thing, even on the smallest ticket purchases. Okay. So the first 48, to 3 days after they buy determine whether a customer buys once or they buy once and just disappear forever, right? Buy once again or buy once and disappear forever. The second point is VIPs, your VIP segment, which I hope most of you know what that is. If not, a little bit of a breakdown of your VIP segment. This is usually those who have bought maybe 3 or 4 times from your store. These are basically top customers. These are people that require less discounting. They have higher order values and they become brand advocates. These are this is your goal of your business, essentially, is to have as many of these as possible. But with most brands that do really well have 1,000, what we call 1,000 true fans, which is something that Tim Ferriss came up with, which you can read in his book, 4 Hour Work Week. Essentially, once you have your 1,000 true fans, it means your business has its moat and it means it'll run forever. You won't have to worry really with 1,000 true fans whether or not you're going to make your business last for 5 or 10 years, right? Third point is the second purchase is where you have your highest lift in LTV. It's not when someone buys once, right? And we all know this. Even brands that say you have one main core product, they may say, okay, no, we just want to focus on that one core product. That's it for us. But the problem that you find with that is we'll soon catch up with you. It's getting more and more expensive to run ads now. And it's not going to change. It's just going to get more and more and more expensive. So the goal really with any brand, subscription, non-subscription, whether you sell one main core product or not, is how do you get them to keep coming and buy more, right? Even if it's more of your main core product, we need to figure out how we're going to do that. Okay. The fourth point is post-purchase is in the retention side of things is how do we engineer that VIP? How do we essentially, go back, deconstruct it so that we can understand the journey from getting them from the first time to becoming these people who buy 3 or 4 times of your product, even if you just sell one time. I believe there's always angles and ways that we can get them to buy more. With the right system, which we're going to go through today. So here's the way I like to map it out. And this is something you can screenshot and share with your team, or just something you can have a think about, is you've got your non-purchasers, which is the awareness stage, your first time buyers, where the focus objective for each point. So you have your awareness. That's the focus. Is like, how do we get more awareness on non-customers? The second point with the first time buyers is like, how do we build trust? That's your main objective. The third point, repeat buyers, is like, how do we strengthen that loyalty? The fourth point with VIP customers is like, how do we maximize lifetime value with these guys? And that's literally the entire game, right? Is post-purchase is this bridge that moves customers across each stage that's highlighted here. And when you understand this progression, every email, every automation campaign, every touch point, every offer becomes more of a strategic lever for that growth. And you can really think about it more holistically. Okay, so segment one that we're going to be focusing on and looking at is your first time buyers. Okay, so the goal here is to, again, like I said, is to build trust. How do we do that? We reduce remorse and we attempt to trigger the second purchase. So when I'm buying from you for the first time, right, it doesn't matter if it's this phone, for example, or if it's this bottle of water, right, online. Once I buy that from you, the point is you want to essentially welcome these people a second time into your ecosystem, into your brand, okay? And, with your welcome series for non-purchasers, you've done that already. This is kind of like your second welcome series in a way. So the way we do that, right, is we have clarity. To build trust with anyone, you need to be super clear, right, with your communication. So about what happens next. So they've just bought from you for the first time. What happens next after they bought from you? Usually that is a shipping confirmation. It's also the things that they're going to get. First of all, is their product, but also they've just bought from you. Do you have an app which they can join with a community in it? Is there other things they can take advantage of? Like, is there social media posts that they can have a look at based on the product that they've bought? Product education based on the product that they bought. Maybe you have a blog with some insights on how they can use their product. Essentially, is what happens next. So the immediate thing is obviously their product is going to get shipped to them, right? They need tracking information. So that's super important. It's like, your order's confirmed. We are working on it. Thank you for being a part of the community. Here's your tracking number. It will be with you at this rough date. Okay. Reassurance is the second point. So it's confirmation that they made the right choice. And this is usually, around your brand promises. So your USPs, essentially. So this is a problem you have. This is the solution that's coming your way, essentially, based on our USP and our brand promises. The third point is education. And I believe that any product can have education attached to it. You should be having landing pages on your website with little how-tos. Everyone has questions, basically, whether it's an FAQ page, whatever, right? You should be sending those, guidance based over their purchase that they have. And the fourth point is confidence. So social proof, really highlighting the reviews like XYZ, who's similar to you, bought this, and this is the results they're getting. And it just reinforces that their buying decision was smart. The more real the review feels, like a video testimonial, an Instagram video from a customer is, something visual they can see, not just text. The more authentic it feels, right, the more they're going to be like, oh, wow, I actually made a good decision here. Like, I can see this is real. Don't use AI videos. Don't make, fake your reviews, anything like that, right? To build confidence, you need to be as real and authentic as possible. Literally just be you. Okay. And that's simple way to build that confidence there. So a first time buyer flow. This is how we like to do it here at Hayes. This is kind of the proven formula that we've seen work. And I'll give a few examples of some emails as well, after we talk the strategy. So this is a simple version. First, you have an emotional order confirmation. All right. And again, I'll show an example of this. So you don't want to just have this. I've seen so many brands and I can find an example here. One second. Here we go. So I bought some clothes and this was the first email I got. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was nice to get it, but it's so corporate. It's like your standard template, I think, that Shopify uses. And I think this is where a lot of brands go wrong instantly with the post-purchase journey, is they have something like this. I think probably 80 to 90% of brands I order from send something like this, which is basically like, it's just like, it's been processed. Please no, like it has all the necessary information, but the thing that is lacking is a human connection, right? It's obvious that this is just a templated message. There's no way of attempting to connect with me. And it's just missed opportunity, really, to build a connection with your audience. First of all, there's no tracking information in here either. I mean, it's just thanking me for my purchase. I think if the tracking information is going to come later, that's fine. But there could be FAQs in here, like, thank you for purchasing your order. Here's some common questions that customers ask. And then, asking questions like, when should I expect to receive my tracking information? What can I expect when I receive this product? Like, all these common questions could be in this email right now. You can also have a signature at the bottom here. First of all, their dynamic blocks aren't working. But you can also have a signature that signs off here from the founder or from someone in the team, with an actual photo of the person saying yours truly, or yours sincerely, or best wishes, or talk soon, with the name of the person. So it actually adds a person to it, which makes it feel more real. Yeah, I think it's just so many opportunities with this first email that you get when you purchase that can be shifted. I want to show you like an example of what I receive, and then I will show you a good example at the end of what I think is unique. So this is basically something not to do. You want to have an emotional order confirmation. The second email is shipping tracking updates. So like I said, the first email will say the next email you're going to receive from us is going to include all your shipping and tracking information. That's going to come through very shortly. So expect that, right? Then they get the shipping and tracking updates. Again, you can add the signature, make it feel personal, change the copy a little bit so it doesn't feel so much like it's just automated. And again, get them excited and for their product that's coming soon. The third point is before or around the time they're going to get the delivery, you want to send a quick start guide, which basically just helps them succeed immediately with the products. It's very simple. I think every brand has, some kind of education they can give of their product. The point after you send that guide, maybe a day later, maybe it's the same day that they deliver the product, you can send a social proof and an FAQ. It's like, basically in that email, it's like, your product it should be with you soon, if not already. Here's what other people have been saying they love about the products you've got. And here's an FAQ of, questions we get, right? And again, reinforcing that you're with them every step of the way. Fifth point is, once they have their product and once they're using it, you want to welcome them officially, right? Because now they have your product, now they're experiencing it. And a founder is a really great way to do this. A plain text, super simple email from the founder can do really well. Even an SMS attached to that can do really well. Basically just a personal touch, of the story of how the product became how it is, based on the experiences, problems you had, the founders had, that the customers also had, and it's just a way to connect. It's like, hey, look, for example, I had acne, I use this example with skincare, just like you, I had trouble with my skin. I found skincare routines expensive, complex, and there's just so much information online, and really I just wanted to simplify it as much as possible and make it easy to just keep your skin clean, clear every day or whatever. This is why we created the product that you now have. So really appreciate you joining the community, and I can't wait for us to continue this skincare journey together or something like that, right? And it just, again, it's a nice little personal touch. So that's the first time buyers. Super simple. I think there's one kind of quick tip here is one thing that we've seen work really well for a lot of brands is having an immediate upsell that goes out straight after a first time buyer buys. Now, a lot of brands will say, oh no, I don't want to sell. Most people say, I don't sell to people when they've just bought. The thing is, as long as you haven't overdone it on your website with trying to get them to buy something else or add things to their cart, as long as it's not coming across too intense, an immediate upsell flow, I think, is an easy way to get people who, in their excitement phase, to buy again and turn into a repeat buyer very quickly. And that's really cool. So for example, in this first time purchase flow, if you have an immediate upsell flow, which is different, immediate upsell flow automation that goes out and triggers at the same time, roughly, as your first time buyer flow. Obviously, you want to make sure it's a few hours after your order confirmation, and have an offer that is valid for 24 hours, something super quick with a cross sell to your other products. It says once product is delivered. I've tried this with both, once product's delivered. It depends on the brand. You need to test it. I've seen most success when this goes out straight after they buy because they're in the excitement phase. But if you want to also target them when they're in another excitement phase, you can send this as soon as they receive their product as well. But it's a separate flow. Don't put this inside your post-purchase. It's a completely separate flow. Treat it individually. Do testing individually on it. But it's for first-time buyers only, okay? And once the people that buy from that immediate upsell flow, they turn into repeat buyers. And then that's a different strategy, which we'll go into in a moment. So why does the second purchase matter so much? So most brands we've seen that when they have a second purchase, higher lifetime revenue really increases very quickly. Like as soon as they make a second purchase, increases dramatically, sometimes 2 to 3x, even more. Trust skyrockets. I mean, obviously it's hard to measure trust, but once someone buys twice, it's very clear that their confidence in the brand increases dramatically. And it's also where LTV really begins. It's not when they make, their first purchase, it's always in the second purchase. So let's get into the second purchase and repeat buyers and what the goal here is. So remember, the goal here is to strengthen the relationship. And this is what they need. They need 3 things to strengthen their relationship. First of all, is recognition. So you need to acknowledge their loyalty. Make them feel valued, right, for coming back again. The second point is to reward them for coming back, right? Provide tangible benefits that reinforce their decision, right? They bought from you again. You want to reinforce why that is a good idea. And the third is reason to keep choosing you. So give them a unique reason or more than one reason to, make your brand the default choice. And then this comes down to what makes you stand out, right? Versus your competitors. Are you cheaper than your competitors? Are you better than your competitors? What is it about you that is, makes you different? And this is where you want to reinforce that more and more and more. So here's a simple flow structure for the second post-purchase flow. And this is different, right? So you'll have your first-time buyer post-purchase with your immediate upsell first-time buyer, right? So that's 2 flows already. This is going to be your third flow. And this is going to be your repeat buyers post-purchase flow. Okay. So I think 5 emails is a bit overkill here, but you can have maybe 2 to 4. And these are the sort of emails that you should have here. So the first email is super simple. You just want to thank them for coming back. And again, as we did in the post-purchase flow, you'll have the signature of the person that was sending those post-purchase emails in the first-time buyer. All right. Thanking them for coming back, making it feel personal and just celebrating their return. Something super simple, right? It'll be very similar to the first email that you sent out, the confirmation order email in the post-purchase flow, but more just personalized on the fact that they're coming back. The second is an exclusive perk or early access to new products. So here in the second email, we want to be thinking like, what can we give them that's unique to repeat customers? It doesn't have to be a discount, right? It does not have to be a discount. It could be maybe an app that's personally for second purchases. It could be a Discord community, right? So where they get basically insights into the new products that are coming up and they can chat with other customers. It has something like just some unique perk. If you have a loyalty program, you can re-mention that, like, hey, you've just earned even more points in your loyalty program. Go check it out. And we're not trying to get them to buy at this point. We're just giving them something for coming back. The third is when we can finally ask for a review. Most brands I see do this in the first time purchase. You're going to have a lot more success when you have the review request in your repeat buyer flow. So we want to be having that there. Again, positioned as you're helping others. It's like, hey, look, thank you for buying from us again. We realize there's more people like you that need to know about X, our brand. Can you help us by leaving a review? If you do so, we'll enter you into a giveaway to win an Amazon gift card. That could also be, you can test it without an incentive. Try it out. The fourth point is a loyalty program. Now, if your brand has a 15 to 20% returning customer rate, you need to have a loyalty program in place. You're missing out on a lot of revenue. There's some simple ones like smile.io that you can check out, but really loyalty programs is where you maximize your LTV. And there's so many brands out there that go, I really need to improve our LTV. They have around 10 to 20% returning customer rate, but they don't have a loyalty program in place. And I'm like, come on, guys, like this is like basic, sorry, I don't want to be offending anyone, but it's just, I see it so often. And I want to make it clear that if you don't have a loyalty program in place, like, please look into it. It's not expensive really to do this. Take some time to set up, but once you have it set up, it's just money. You're going to keep coming in. People keep, coming back, basically. Have the clear benefits of your loyalty program. Don't make it overcomplicated. Just make it very simple on what they're going to get. Nike has a good example. If you check out my other video on Nike, they have a really good example of a great membership program and loyalty program, which is actually free to join. And this is a great time where you can just mention all the things that your loyalty program has. And then the 5 is like a surprise bonus, which is optional but powerful. This doesn't have to be a physical product. This could be some kind of downloadable content, something to help them on their journey, something that's exclusive for people who have bought again. So that's the second segment. All right. And that's the repeat buyers. Now, once they've bought, with you 3-4 times, right? At this point, we want to be talking to our VIP customers. And again, every brand, small, big, especially when you're big, needs to be talking to your VIP customers differently than all your other segments. And if you're not already doing so, you're really missing out on your, achieving higher LTV targets. So the goal here is to keep them forever. And here's how you build a moat around your business to the point where you're not going, if worse comes to worse, people stop buying, first time purchasers stop buying, your repeat, VIP customers are there. They're going to keep buying from you. So what they need, okay, from the email and SMS point of view and retention point of view. So they need to feel like they have status. Okay. So it's a recognition of their elite position within your customer base. Right? You need to make them aware and known that they are VIP customers, right? So one way to do that is, an easy way to do that is with email. An easy way to do that is with SMS. Other ways to do that is to have inserts in your products that you send to them, welcoming them to the VIP club. So for those who have made a 4th or 5th purchase, you can include an exclusive insert, like a little leaflet, personal leaflet essentially to them. Handwritten also does well, because if you think about it, your VIP segment is smaller. So you can actually afford to give them a bit of one-on-one, recognition. The second point is priority treatment. So we just had Black Friday. One of the things we do with our brands every single Black Friday is we have a VIP segment that get early access before anybody else to Black Friday. And this is like early access, right? They get the sale before anyone else does. They get an exclusive discount code that no one else gets. And they get first access to things like product launches before the products go live and all that good stuff. Like really, it's very simple. All you do is you just send them a simple plain text. You make it feel as personal as possible and say, hey, because you're a VIP member, this is what you're getting. Third point is insider access. So they need to feel, right, that they are really like, they're seeing things that no one else is seeing of your brand. And that's things like behind the scenes content, videos of you in the warehouse, videos of you in your business, videos, even just like a personal video I saw with Spotify Wrapped, which was really nice, that some podcast owners, some musicians, if you were their like top listeners, they recorded like a little personal video on their phone, thanking you for the great year that you've had. That's another idea you can send to VIP customers. Simple email at the end of the year, recorded a video of you thanking them for being a VIP customer, and then you just send them an email with that video attached to it. It could be even a Google Drive file. It could be uploaded as a private video on YouTube. It's something that, is very little, very low lift that just goes a long way with your VIP segment. In terms of the flow, so we talked about what they need. Now, from an email SMS point of view, right, We've got the first time buyers flow. We've got the second repeat purchases flow. We have the immediate upsell flow for your first time buyers. Now we need a VIP post purchase flow. So right now we've got 4 flows that need to be created. The 4th flow, which is a VIP flow, is just welcome them. Again, similar here. You want to just make them feel extra special for joining. Let them know in the second email that they're going to get what they're going to get early access to. So here's the launches, sale events. Nike do a really good job with the third point, which is exclusive drops in the third email, where they literally have member only products that only members can buy, right? So it's limited edition products that are only available to VIPs. The 4th is when you start to refer a friend. And similar to the review request, I see so many people, I get these emails all the time, is when I've just bought from them once, maybe the 4th email is like, refer a friend. It's like, come on, like I've barely even been introduced into your ecosystem, asking me to refer a friend. Really, like, referrals is where a lot of brands make their money, but they're sending these requests and way too early. You want to be sending this only to your VIP segment because they are likely to do it. The amount of VIPs that we've seen refer a friend is incredible. So think about it. If you could get a 10% conversion rate on a thousand people. So this is how it works. It kind of works as a funnel. So you have 1,000 true fans, say 10% of them refer a friend. So you have 100 of those, right? The new customers coming in. Then you keep funneling down. So those 100 become VIPs, and then you have, it basically keeps, it's like a flywheel effect. And it's a great way to make sure you have a high conversion rate on your refer a friend program. The last point is a high value review. So this is where you're asking for like UGC requests and UGC content. This is where you get like a real video, not someone like an influencer that you've paid, but an actual like a review from a real customer, where they can record content of them like really, highlighting your product. And it's a high value review. The more real this review looks, the better it is to put on your website, truly. So take a screenshot of this, and then what we'll do is I'll go into some differences where you have non-subscription brands versus subscription brands, because I know a lot of people watching this will have businesses that fall into either of these two categories, and I want to make sure I'm talking to both. So they're very similar. So first, starting with non-subscription brands is really you just want to have strategic upsells and accessories, right? So complementary products that enhance the original purchase. So get them to, have eyes on all your products throughout each of the flows that you have created, each of those 4 flows that you have created. Intelligent cross-sell, so related customers that solve additional customer needs. Second purchase triggers, so timely reminders and compelling reasons to buy again. And then occasional bundles, like really during like seasonal events like New Year is a great time, like have New Year bundles on the website. So again, limited time offers that increase average order value. You want to have them come back again. So if you have accessories, you want to bundle these accessories specifically for these times and have good savings on them. And that'll help you keep the revenue coming in, keep the LTV value. If you have all these 4 things in place and all those 4 flows that I create, like I talked about, and your campaigns for those 3 different segments, the first time, repeat, and VIPs. If you focus on these 4 things in each of your content, you will be able to increase LTV without needing to become a subscription brand. All right. Subscription brands, you're in a really nice place though. I do love working with subscription brands. I mean, I love working with both, but with subscription brands, there's so many opportunities to send SMS and SMSs and emails and direct mail and inserts inside of things to just really get them onto becoming a subscriber. I've seen replenishment flows be like massive LTV driver for most subscription brands. If you do not have replenishment flows in place, then you're going to be basically like, you're not going to be increasing your LTV. Essentially, it's just going to be stagnant. These are just automated reminders based on usage patterns. All right. And you'll have many different replenishment flows based on the different products and then like how long each of them last. So really delving deep, I can do a whole video series on replenishment flows. And so if that's something you guys want, give a comment below and I can give you a whole strategy on all sorts of different replenishment flows that you guys can create for your subscription brand. Second one is running low reminders, similar to your replenishment flows. But these are more like you might be running low. It's definitely different. It's a different flow. It's a different email. The replenishment flows are sent before they run out. Running low reminders are like as they're about to run out. Pause, skip automation. So you want to basically have it as flexible as possible for them to pause and skip. So once they're paused, you want to be sending out an automation to say, hey, we notice you're still paused. Do you want to unpause now? And then that's all automated. Same with skips. We've noticed you've skipped. Do you want to unskip? All right. The fourth point is the loyalty store and credit mechanics. So basically just getting them, rewarding them the longer they stay. I've seen this do really well with meal kit brands. For example, with a meal kit brand that we work with, if you stay past, if you stay with them past 4 months, so they have scales. So it's like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 months. So every month you stay with them, you unlock a certain perk. All right. And it gets better as the weeks go on. So the first time it might be like, oh, you unlock like a free cookbook. And the 4th week, the final week, you should get a free meal on top of the meals you have every single week. All right. And again, this is something that keeps people to stick around. If they cancel or skip or pause at any point on that 4th month journey, they reset. They lose all their perks and they have to start again from the beginning. So that's a good idea for subscription brands. Again, there's so many things with these two that I could go into, but I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of brands we work with, their whole post-purchase journey differs whether they're a subscription brand or not. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about campaigns and offer testing. All right. So we've talked about flows. We've talked about post-purchase flow sequences for each of the segments. Now, how do we send campaigns to these guys, and how do we test offers to make sure that we're maximizing, our margins, but also maximizing for conversions and lifetime value? So first of all, these three segments you want to already have created: your first-time buyers, your repeat buyers, and VIP customers. If hopefully you guys have the resources to create separate campaigns for each of these segments. If you don't, then it might be worth looking at hiring someone to help out, whether internally or an agency, that can help you to start segmenting these out and send out different emails for these segments. So first-time buyers, really just test little small bounce back offers. Sometimes you don't need to even give them an offer, but small bounce back offers are good, right? So things like smaller discounts on their next purchase, free shipping thresholds, product bundles, so giving them exclusive bundles or giving them access or letting them know about bundle suggestions, and then time-limited exclusive access to things. So, for example, one good thing could be like, with your VIP customers, you have a new product launch, you could test something, right, with this. So it's like, usually we only give this exclusive access to our VIP customers, but for the first time, as a thank you for being a first-time buyer, and as a way to trust us even more, we're giving you exclusive access to this drop. And you do that maybe in like 1 or 2 or 3 times a year. Don't do it every single time. Obviously, with your VIP customers, they always get exclusive early access, but you're kind of giving the first-time buyers a peek into what it looks like to be a repeat buyer and what it looks like to be a VIP customer. And this is what you can do. You can make it time-based, and you can give them exclusive access and an exclusive insight into what it like to be that customer. Repeat buyers, we have exclusive or loyalty based offers. So similar to VIP customers, you want to be like, hey, we're giving you early access to this new launch that no one else has apart from our VIP customers. Same point. Loyalty point multipliers. So hey, if you buy again in the next 24 hours as a repeat buyer, we're going to be giving you a ×2 ×3 on your loyalty points. Member only product drops, which we've talked about with Nike. And then the fourth point is the birthday or anniversary rewards. So this is where you can have exclusive birthday flows in place. So when it's their birthday, like you send an email campaign to them saying, hey, fill in your birthday by clicking this, and they go and fill in their birthday on the website, and it links back to Klaviyo. Once they do that, they get access to a birthday flow, which is where they get their birthday offers. VIP customers is basically all the things above, but even more. You have private shopping events, exclusive pre-launch invitations, like a concierge level service, like, hey, we're putting together this thing, reply, and we'll point you in the right direction, and behind the scenes content. So it's like, how can you be extra special? And with campaigns, you want to be sending at least like 1 or 2 per month. There's like real, it feels like a one-to-one interaction with the brand. You can also do giveaways as well for your VIP segment. Yeah, basically just really making it feel more concierge level. Okay, so here's the framework that we basically talked about, right? It's just, this is like a summary of all the things we've talked about and how you can think of like the ladder to growing your LTV. So non-purchase is you have your awareness and interest building. Your first time buyer is all about reducing buyer remorse, reducing risk through reassurance, education, and confidence building techniques and touch points. Repeat buyers is about increasing trust with recognition, rewards, and consistent value delivery. And then your VIP customers is just maximizing that lifetime value through exclusivity, priority access, concierge level service, and insider status. This is what we build for clients. It's like a systematic approach, a holistic approach from using customers up that retention ladder. And it works. It's a compound growth. Over time, the trajectory is up and to the right. It takes time to build this. You don't just build all of those things overnight. It takes a lot of time, a lot of testing to really nail the retention ladder. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to show you some examples that I pulled of some good post-purchase style emails that you can replicate. So first of all is this like checking in email, which is a plain text, again, from this Dr. Tori Waxman, who's the co-founder of this brand. Essentially, this is just like an educational email that can go out to any of the segments that we talked about today, but it is very personal. It comes from a person. It doesn't come from a robot. And it basically links to some blog posts, some landing pages on some typical questions that people may have. So its brand is called Sundays, and basically it's just some simple tips and tricks on how they can better, improve their dog's life. So how can I change my dog's food? How many of this food should I be feeding my dog? And what should my dog's poop look like? A lot of this is targeted towards puppies. So I think the brand that they have is mainly around puppies, or the product that they bought is around puppies. But yeah, this is really a really good approach of an educational style email that you can use to build trust and basically, get them to stay in the brand ecosystem, get them to browse the website and stuff as well. Okay, another email here is a good one for your first-time buyers and getting them in a cross-sell, upsell flow and getting them to buy again. So this one is Graza, and it's like, how was your first taste of Graza? Ready for a refill, buy again. High-quality oil that's meant to be squeezed on save now. So it's super simple. You're just talking to them where they are and getting them to buy again. A great way to get a first-time buyer into becoming a repeat purchaser. Super simple. Dollar Shave Club is another cool one. So your next box, this is great for a subscription brand. So your next box, 1 item ships on this day, C box. And then, you can add in some cross-sell add-ons into your box. Super simple, your account at the bottom. Again, it doesn't need to be complicated. You can make it super easy. And this is a great email to send out when they have a next delivery of a specific product that they're subscribed to. Here's one, a social proof email. It's an upsell, but mainly a social proof. So this one you can send out again in your cross-sell flow. You can also send this out in your first-time buyer flow where you have a social proof and you just want to add, some reviews in there. Again, something super simple with some product relate. Now, Greens is a really good one. This one is converting non-subscribers into subscribers. Could be really a part of any flow. Like if you have a first-time buyer flow and they're non-subscribers and you want them to become subscribers, you can add this in there as a way to basically just encourage them to subscribe. I think the best thing here is what you can do is, and how you can improve it, is just mention how many, the savings and the benefits they get more upfront. I think this is a little bit too vague, but you can improve it by putting all the benefits and cost of savings at the top rather than here. But either way, it's a good example of a type of email that you would send out in the post-purchase journey to turn non-subscribers into subscribers. So these are really all the examples I have for you. I mean, I could share examples endlessly, but my suggestion is just signing up to a few lists. You can sign up to these examples if you want. Really good emails. They're doing really good returning. And they're doing really good returning revenue. So if you want us to build this for you, because I know it's a lot of information, it is a lot of work, but I wanted to give you as much information as possible to point you in the right direction. And I understand if you're someone that's only sending a thank you email and you don't have the resources to do more and expand your post-purchase journey, then I believe at this point in time, as well as I, that you're probably leaving money on the table. So if you want us to build this whole retention system for you, hit the link below and book a call. And if you want to stick around and you've learned something, please hit the subscribe button as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now.